Good afternoon, lab pals. How are you guys? I hope you've been doing well and had a great weekend. Well, I guess it's already halfway through the week. Anyway, today finally had a little bit of time off to actually do some filming and finally got around sorting everything else in the house. So it's good to finally catch up in a sense. At least I'm doing this filming part now. So if you didn't know, there is actually annually a food and wine festival in Sydney, and I was fortunate enough to be invited by a friend, Sarah. Hi Sarah, if you're watching, and thanks so much for taking me there. So Sarah had, changing the gender, she had a free ticket basically for the show due to her work. So we were able to visit that place, and so we went to the Olympic showgrounds, and it's like around Lidcombe. So we went there and went to the show, and it's basically, think of like if you love food markets, and I'm sorry if I'm taking a bit of time to think back because it has been so long. It's just like so many weeks after that, some of the things are just behind my head already. But yeah, so it's basically, think of like a very big food market. If you're big on food markets, food stalls, or like the morning kind of like morning markets, like in King's Cross, all these kind of places, which is totally my thing. And you know, there's nothing I love more than this kind of stuff, or going to grocery stores and checking out new stuff. This is what I dig the most. So I was super excited. I bought my camera and I was basically going to take photos and videos of anything that I thought was really interesting to show with you guys, because I thought it would be an amazing thing for you guys to experience it first time with me as well. And it's just be interesting to talk about some of the interesting stuff. So when I got in there, it was just the biggest place ever. So many stalls that we weren't too sure which direction to take first, and we just went in there, and it's just so amazing. There's so many different wines, different drinks, a lot of beverages. There were pies, or so many things. So one of the first things we saw was someone offered her a beer, and she didn't say no, obviously. And it was really cool because what they were promoting wasn't actually beer. What they were promoting was actually the container used to hold the beer. So I think it was made from plastic, but the cool thing about this is a beer holder that fills the beer from bottom up. I think it was able to do all the froth and all that kind of stuff really well. I don't really drink beer, but I know that pouring usually takes a little bit of technique. Try and like get it from the tap, or from the cup to the from the bottle to the glass. Getting it right, amount of froth and all that kind of stuff takes a little bit of skill or a little bit of practice. But basically the cup you'll see is it has a little bit of like a seal on the bottom, and basically when it's connected to the pump will pump through the beer into the cup, and then once you detach it, it would just seal it in. So you wouldn't want to like play around with it, because if you touch it or something and something goes wrong, well, you know, you'll be drinking beer from both ends basically. Or you can share with a friend, drink from the top, someone drink from the bottom. Works okay, I guess. So I thought that was really cool, and she was really good at asking questions. She knew what to ask, and she was asking them whether they were actually starting to put this out already. But apparently it was very new, so they were only starting to look into it at around that time. So they haven't actually started. But if you start seeing stuff like this going out around in certain pubs or bars, then you know where it comes from. Also, with all the company names and all that stuff, I really can't remember them right now, and I haven't really written it down or anything. They're all in the pictures most of the times. I've tried to take photos of them, so I will leave the names just like in the corner for everyone that I talk about. We also went to one particular, because if you don't really know, I don't go particularly for, I try a lot of alcohol if it's there, and I'm happy to try new things. I'm generally pretty open about trying new things, but you know, I like to try it before I say no, like whether I like it or not. I like to know. And wine is usually not one of the things that I kind of know how to enjoy, and I don't really know much about it. So as a result, there's not many that I actually would openly say just, yeah, I love this, you know, it's great. Like, I actually really enjoyed that. But there was one stall from New Zealand, I believe. They did 2 kinds of wine that were really, 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 really delicious, really amazing. And they were one of the places that actually had plastic glasses, because they were basically trying to, the event was trying to sell you those little neck hold wine glass holders so that you can use them as sample glasses, and certain places wouldn't be able to give you samples unless you had one of those. But we went to a lot of places that managed to give us samples without that, so we didn't have to spend that money, because I don't drink that much wine. I wouldn't want a cup holder of that sort to take home anyway. But yes, it was so amazing. I remember it was just really light, really smooth, really, really sweet, and that's pretty much exactly how I like my wine. And they were just so refreshing, and just, it was just like on the spot, just the tiniest amount. It was just like made me think, I don't even really drink wine, but I actually really want to take a bottle. But you know, I kind of also didn't want to spend that much, because I wasn't planning to buy something like that at that price. Obviously, it's good and it's a lot of good deals there, but I wasn't planning to spend up to the amount of a bottle of wine there. Essentially, like, I could spend that amount, but I was more thinking about dispersing it amongst different items. What I did end up buying was actually one of the, I think I've got it here. Oh, what was it called? Byron Bay. So Byron Bay's chopping boards, they had a variety of chopping boards, and I really, really liked it. This was my favorite one. I saw it, and this was the one that kind of made me go, I want to come back and buy something. And we thought we'd go around and see everything else first, see if there's anything we wanted to eat, etc., before coming back to basically have to carry something around. And this was the first one I saw, and I ended up looking at other ones and still going with this one. They had sizes that were huge, and I don't even know, I guess they're like more for like, even for professional kitchens, because I wouldn't be able to carry something like that or use something like that at home. Not that I can think of any ways to use it. But yes, this is perfect size. I thought I could use it for some videos and display something cute, really cool on it, something rustic. Really excited. It wasn't too expensive. I think this one was about $15 for something really well varnished and with really good pattern. It's really nice. So if you're interested, you can look them up, and I think you can probably even order stuff from them. What else? Let me check my photos. But yeah, so we went around and did some drinking, some eating. There was actually one beer that my friend had. Sarah drank a beer called, I think it was called 8 Bits or something, but not in a funny way, but like bits, like as in like it was like old pixels. I think that's what it was called. I can't remember. I don't know if I took a photo of that one, but it was basically a kind of beer with, it was a kind of beer, but it was apparently really, really nice. And I can't remember if I tried it or not, but it smelled, I smelt it, I didn't try it, but it smelled really sweet and really, really tasty for a beer, and I'm not a big fan of beer. And the overall labeling and packaging and like wrapping off the bottle was just so cute. It was just like pixel arts. Just feels like something, like if you're a nerdy person like me, you would love it. And it was food related, so that was really cool. There was a lot of ciders as well. I'm just looking at my photos if you're wondering why I'm looking down there. My computer's down there. We had a little, there were like coffee machines as well. There was a stand that was selling pies. Then they came in a pack of 4 different flavors. So we shared that. That was really, really tasty. One of the ones I was super excited about, and which was so good. If you like buns, like, you know, cinnamon buns, that kind of stuff, nice, soft, kind of like fluffy bread dough, drizzled in like different kind of syrups, or like glazed with something, or spread with something like Nutella. This particular stand was doing all that kind of stuff, just like cinnamon bun looking kind of stuff, like rolls. with so many flavors. There was like raspberries, there was cookies and cream, there was just like the simple cream cheese or kind of glaze, kind of like a cinnamon bun. They did cinnamon bun as well, which I probably should have got. I can't even remember the ones. What did I get? Actually, I might have got the cinnamon bun one. But yes, I wanted to try the traditional, I think, and then I also wanted to try a different one, and the other one I went for was salted caramel, and it was just, oh, the caramel on top was so good. They were actually pretty hefty in size as well. Each one was probably about this big. I was planning to buy 2 to share with Sarah, but unfortunately she wasn't actually too big on bread stuff, which I didn't know until that day. So I ended up taking it home and I ate both of them that night. Yeah, it was that good. I had like one and a bit and I was like, have a bit of both. I was like, oh, that's so good. I'll go for more. Put it aside and it'd be like watching something and I was like, you know what, have a little bit more. And I ended up eating pretty much all of it. But yes, it was really good, really highly recommended. I don't know if they do like shops or if they do ordering, but you can look them up, and it was really, really tasty, really good, and they were one of the really busy stores. Yeah, and apart from that, there was just such a huge variety, I don't even know where to go. There was a lot of biscuits, there were companies that were starting and not really selling the product, but just promoting it there. Obviously, Sarah's company was there and they were doing a lot of different wines. There was a few things I was really... yeah, there was one that I was really, really interested and really excited about that I forgot to mention. The coffee liqueurs. There were a lot of them that were really, really, really good, and I love coffee in liqueurs. Coffee flavored anything is just great. And there was a few that were sold in like bigger bottles. There's also ones that were made like a coffee martini, and it was basically in a little jar and you just had to, I think, keep it chilled, shake it up, and I don't know if you, I think you didn't have to do anything to it and you could literally just serve it like that. But basically it was like made ready to go. So that was a pretty cool idea as well. So many of those things I actually kind of wanted but just didn't know if it was like absolutely necessary. But it was really cool seeing that and to know those kind of things existed, because I don't know, they could be inspirations for dessert at some point. And I guess the other main thing that really happened there was this chef that was probably one of their high points or selling points, which a lot of people went there. I can't remember what he's popular from and I actually don't really know him, but yeah, I joined in the hype anyway, and Sarah really, really wanted to get a photo with him. So we got in there pretty early when it was not too busy, and she managed to take a photo with him. It was a little bit on the, I guess, awkward side because he didn't seem to know where to look. He was just constantly on the move for some reason. And then that store basically cooked a giant paella every few hours. There would be a huge sell out of paella, and I've only had paella probably once, but his one was very, very nice. Paella isn't exactly one of my favorite food. I'm sorry, but you know, it's a great food. It's just not really my thing. I kind of don't like things like that, I guess. But I had to agree that his one was probably the best one I've had, given that I've only had one or two before. But it was just very tasty. Flavors great. Moisture was there, so it wasn't like really dry kind of rice either. Just really amazing overall. And as to handle something this big for like the cooking was it was amazing to see how it was done and that something like this could even exist. And it was definitely something that was like a showstopper, you know, just kind of like stopped everyone in the way, whether they knew him or not. People were just kind of amazed by what was going on, and it took a long time to cook as well because we were standing there the whole time waiting. And the first time when Sarah wanted to get some paella, it was actually sold out and we had to wait for about an hour to come back to before they started even making the second one, and it sold out almost instantly as well. And second time around was exactly the same, sold out really quickly. So lucky Sarah and I got in there pretty early. But yeah, he was very, very popular. So that was a really cool thing. Definitely one of the really amazing things to see. Just feels like delving into a different culture almost. But yeah, so I guess the other main thing that they sold there was cheese. Lots and lots of cheese. Lots of truffle oils. And shame they didn't have ice cream or anything like that. But yeah, and there was also like a little seating area, and then like food stands where you can actually have like buy like a little meal to have if you were hungry halfway through and wanted proper food. And obviously bathrooms. So it was overall a really good setup, really good event, and it was, you know, we went there, walked around, tried everything, took a rest in between, and easy enough. We were there for at least like 2 or 3 hours, easy. I think we got there around like 10:30, and we didn't leave till about maybe 2 or 3 o'clock, I think it was. But yeah, we spent quite a while there, and it didn't feel too bad. It was like legs got a bit tired after a while for mostly standing and walking for that long, because we didn't really sit down. But apart from that, it was really fun, and I really enjoyed that experience. I hope you guys enjoyed the experience with me and got to know a little bit about the Sydney Food and Wine Show. I might go back next year if I know when it's on in advance, and if I wanted, if there's anything new this time, I hope. But it was just a really fun day out, and I really enjoyed it. Ate a lot as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you like this video, like and subscribe, and I'll bring you some more of these kind of fun little trips next time I go somewhere new, a new cafe perhaps, or something like that. When I go a little exploring or adventures, I'll bring you along. And I think that's it for now. I'll see you guys next time, and have fun with your cooking. Bye.